Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop today. Treat especial. Make cool shit, put it on Tinternet. Here we got from a buddy of mine in Saskatchewan, Hand Tool Rescue Channel, made some of these reenactment vintage spanners, and quite frankly, I've been using the hell out of them, surprisingly. Now, seeing as how Buddy Gnu had the foreskin to send me two, one to fucculate and one to use proper for posterity's sake, I don't kind of go for that freebie nonsense, though. We're going to buy one myself. So this one I will upgrade and then go ahead and put your name in the doobly-doo there. Standard rules apply. If and I choose you, I'll send it to you. Can't ever be accused of being a shill, you know what I'm saying? And getting stuff for free and saying how fucking great it is. However, this is fucking great. Throwing caution to the wind now at the risk of skewing the test results. We're going to take her apart. I ought to be able to get her back together, but one never knows. That's a long nut. That's what she said. Okay, comes in three parts. Here's the incredible thing about this. The Jesus thing got here landed. Well, they're $35 hairs. I think he's charging $37 hairs, something like that. And you look at all the meat here. No fucking way could I ever do that for 37 bucks. Not a chance in hell. I think he's either losing his shirt or he's just getting them out there just for tits and pickles, essentially. $37 hairs on a... You couldn't even get a machinist to look at it for that much on a onesies and twosies basis. Being as how this is supposed to be a historical reenactment, looking at it, there are some Marge Simpson moments, but overall, the thing has a very skookum affectation. Lots of meat to her. There is something wrong with this setup. Don't quite feel right, does it? That's better. Like our fine feathered friend that runs the NASA Manhattan office says, always be cannoliing. I myself would be fat as a house, but get right in there. Okay, so what we got is a laser cut A36 mild steel plate. Looks like 1/2 inch steel plate. And also, is it laser cut or plasma cut? There's some kerf on the back side here that leads me to believe that is plasma cut, but then the inside kerf isn't rounded enough. So that is laser cut. Just a little bit of oxidation nastiness coming out, shooting out the back side. So the slag coming through is melting through the other stuff on the other side. Okay, so that's all laser cut, this section. And then you got to go in. He's got to, it looks like they don't mill this, but it is quite flat still. And then they got to go in here deeply, mill all this out, and then come in with a slot cutter, cut all the way down in here. Also cut this slot out. So what they might do actually is mill this. I bet you there's a video. I bet you I'm totally wasting my time trying to figure out how they did this on account of, I bet you there's a video on there. So mill this out, slut this out. It's got to be the right depth. Then they got to drill it with a long ass drill bit. They got to drill it down in here so that the tang end, the dingus end here, can fit in like that. And that is not a bad fit at all. Now this guy, same thing. That would have to be out of a solid chunk here. So they would hopefully get the nesting right so they wouldn't waste too much material. Solid chunk. Mill all that square. All four sides. We'll mill that and on the side. And then you see they came in here with a big face mill. Milled it down. And then they got to turn this and thread it. Make sure this is all flat and perpendicular. This is just that's lasered there. So they must laser this. Nice and square. Then what he does, one thing that's definitely got to be improved or would be nice to have improved is either stamp that in or get a better tool. So what they're doing is, in the mill that the machinists have, they have a engraving cutter. It's not turning fast enough though. You can see that it gets all hung up in the corners, and there's maybe a little bit too much dwell time there, and it kind of messes up the look of her. So you need a high-speed spindle. That's at 15,000 ripums to get that nice and clean. Then the nut itself, this would be round stock. Well, you'd CNC this, but on a manual machine it'd be round stock, and then they'd gun drill it, I assume. Gun drill it. No. They're just twist drilling that because you look at the thread form there, it's reasonably sharp, and then wallered right out on the back side, and then manually deburred. The knurling cuts aren't that heavy, but overall, for what you're paying, $35 for essentially a bespoke tool, what some guy made for you specifically, that's pretty fucking, like, I don't think you can beat that stick with a sore dick deal. I was gonna say, you can't beat it. The other thing he does, hand finish wise, and this is nothing to sneeze at. Every process is more time away from his kids, more time, like this. Yeah, there's a lot of handwork went into this. Belt sanded down and chamfered, real heavy well, not even chamfered, buffed it right down to nothing. And then he heat treats it. Now, why would you heat treat this? Because it's A36. It's just mild steel. You can't heat treat it. Well, he seems to be using some of that cherry red on there, and that would just put a different kind of patina on it. That cherry red I find useless because it's a nitride coating, but it's like half a blonde one thick. Doesn't do really fuck all in the great scheme of things. As we can see, it doesn't do much for the corrosion protection, but it is on there. It makes it look vintage, and who am I to judge? A cool tool is a cool tool. So we'll get I stuck my arm in it. Who knows what the fuck that is? I gotta go take a shower. Managed to get it back together and not blow a hole in my arm with whatever fucking schmoo that was. I want to tell you here, I love this tool. It is very useful. I'm just pointing out what I can see where maybe some changes possibly could be made in the name. Well, yeah, you get into it in the name of not really scooping fact in the thing, but so as a 1/4 inch, this is coarse fastener, we can get, out of a grade 2, we can get 1,000 pounds of clamping. So A36 is not even close to grade 2. So consider with 5 foot-pounds of torque here, 50 inch-pounds of torque on this, we can get 1,000 pounds of clamping. Now that is considerable. That's a lot. I would say that's over the range of what you get out of a vice grip clamp. Now you look at a vice grip and it starts out as a lever and ends up, as it actually clamps down, ends up being a cam action. So it's real hard to guesstimate how much force is on there, but you consider the lever action here, say you got a 50-pound squeeze at 1 inch, so plus the cam action, what do you figure, 500 pounds? 500 pounds. I'm going with 500 pounds of clamp. So even with that nut wallered out at the back end, there's more than enough thread engagement to get it to 1,000 pounds of clamping. Well, let's have a look at the brass nut, which consequently has quite a bit deeper knurling. And yeah, it didn't get wallered out. A much nicer nut on the bronze. And also, you get more clamping with less torque, less finger torque, because the coefficient of friction between greasy steel and brass is much, much lower than between greasy steel and steel. Well, maybe not much, much lower, but it is lower. Speaking of things what could use an improvement, I got the Cockford Ollie Torque Structomatic. For some reason I thought there was a fuck in there somewhere, but this is the X model, so the test pilot model. I think, well, we won't get into that, but also this guy, Tool Rescue Restoration Channel, is the guy what sent me the photos of these cool old tools. Now, the original was quite a bit longer, had this in small end in order to make it into a prying bar, and I've put her through her paces. I'm quite happy with it. One thing we're going to change is for prying like this, we're going to take this tang and move it over 90 degrees so you really get a proper pry, and a little bit thinner. This is not a screwdriver. It is a jam and poke and prodding device. Now here's the beauty about being a qualified supplier to NASA, is that once they qualify you, they got to go with the lowest bid, and there ain't no bid lower than 0. So we're going to send this off to none other than NASA and get them to test this, see if it's any fucking good at all. What on God's green earth are we doing now? Like the wife tells me, you got to give her till she pops. We got a right comparable size crescent wrench on there. We are going to do exactly what I said. We're going to give her till she pops. We'll watch the gauge. It's locked off, so it'll come up to maximum pressure, and see if we can't break this right half in two. Or more than likely what'll happen is it spreads so much that we go across the flats. We'll see what happens. Gird your loins. And once again, I find myself far too close to the blast radius. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Sketchy as frig, huh? Well, that was up to 1900 psi, far as I could tell. It did some proper NASA testing there. Got this aerospace grade into a low Earth orbit fuckulator, right half in two. The thing is, look at this. This surprises me. That little worm shaft isn't even bent. It still turns perfect. That right there, that ain't no joke about that. That's a nice wrench. Nice crescent wrench. If you're going to use a crescent wrench, you might as well use a nice one. But she took a hell of a hot supper before she gave up the ghost. We'll just go ahead and send that to, look at the grain structure on that. Wow. Oh! That's because it hit the ceiling. It's full of gypsum. So we'll go ahead and send that over to Jody at Welding Tips and Tricks. He'll have that welded right up. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Weld a broken heart at the crack of dawn, that fella. Now, how often you, as a welder, you go and grab the machinist micrometer as a C-clamp, and the Jesus guy just about has a fit. These things work great as impromptu little C-clamps. As I said, 1/4 inch thread, that'll give you 1,000 pounds of clamping. And a little 6-inch package. Excuse me, my wife might be less than 9-inch package. Let's get her around. Oh, gotta go around again. Okay, my dog made a racer. On a toujours reverse, huh? On a toujours reverse. Oh, of course, I did it again. Tappy tap tap. Watch your Jesus thumb. Not to worry, folks. I'm here all week. Oh, it's tweaking up. I didn't foresee that. Tweaks up and off because of the different angulation on the handle. Huh? Aha. Wow, who'd have thunk it? Made that much of a difference. Let's I'll get the high speed and we'll rarely give her a while and see what happens. As you can no doubt feel my hot salty breath coalescing down your spine, I am a lot closer in order to actuate the high speed camera. So I'm just gonna get her primed here. In the words of my favorite scumbag, eyes, ears, and move your beers. Jesus, this fella gets 500 subscribers and then quits. No heart. Okay, kind of moving. It sounded like it stripped a thread. Key. Corner. We can. Oh, and the fucking camera. Fuck you. I tell you, boys. The fucking technology, it doesn't end. It ain't easy making movies in the comfort of your own garage, even. Fucking flies buzzing around. I really should get rid of those dead bodies. Oh, I got a feeling this nut will be stripped. Never a nice feeling to have your nut stripped prematurely, but let's see what the major malfunction in the conjunction is. I'm feeling we got some strap threads. Oh, those are fine. It's in the nut. Yeah, pulled right out of the nut. Son of a diddly. I didn't even, because I was relying on the valve to hit the max pressure, didn't even get to see what it pulled out at. But it seemed to have popped at 500 psi. So here's my idea for the nut. Little slots in there, and then you can really tighten it up. Huh? Gotta say, a little bit bummed about this. I would have thought, being as how it's so skookum, like so much beef there, it would have been far, far stronger than just a crescent wrench. You know, the much maligned Saskatchewan socket set. Farmer's wrench, they also call that. But yeah, there's a reason this, they don't use it anymore. It's not as strong. It pulled right through the nut. That's kind of a bummer. Still though, super, like, I'm gonna give this one away, and I'm gonna get, I'll ask for one for, oh, look at that. You even marked it for me. Oh, fuck you then, I'm keeping it. Well, that's my prerogative, ain't it? No, I can't do that. I said I'd give it away. So down below me in the doobly-doo, if you want this one. It's still cool as frig, man. Go over and check out his channel. He does, restoration of old tools right here in Canada. Seems to be a nice fellow. I haven't met him firsthand, but from his work that I enjoy on YouTube, seems like a fart smeller. Thanks for watching. Keep your dick in a vice. Now that the adrenaline dump is kicking in, I'm kind of sad about busting my right. I had some good times with this one. Some bad times too. Fucking knee deep in minor pits. The only thing for it is to destroy a Chinese one. That ought to make me feel better. Garbage. That's just fucking mangled, and the thing, I don't know how much pressure it took because it's just mushed over. So only one place for that.